Hey, this is Rick Caselge, injury specialist from exercisesforinjuries.com. In today's video, I wanted to go through what to do about shoulder pain when working out. Now, the first thing you're going to do, I'll get Alex to demonstrate and I'll explain it. There we go. So the first thing you're going to do is you want to end up building tension in the upper body. So if you're going through movements and you're relaxed through here, a lot of stress ends up being put on the shoulders. So what you want to do is build tension in the mid-back, tension in the shoulder blades, and then tension in the lats here. So that all of this takes a lot of the load and it puts a lot less stress on the shoulder. So once again, relaxing, adding tension to the mid-back, adding tension to the shoulder blades, adding tension on the lats to the side. Perfect when you're doing your shoulder exercises. So that ends up being the first thing you want to do in order to decrease your shoulder pain when working out. Now the second ends up being looking at your elbows. So I'll get you face this way, Alex. And so let's say you're doing you bench press movements or push-up movements. The further your elbows are away from your body, the more stress gets put on the shoulder and specifically on the rotator cuff. Now, if we bring the elbows closer to the body, that ends up putting less stress on the shoulder and the rotator cuff, plus you're able to do what we talked about in step one. If you add tension in the mid-back, tension on the shoulder blades, and tension on the lats, these can help stabilize the shoulder and decrease the stress on the shoulder. Perfect. So that ends up being number two. Look at the elbows, and the closer your elbows are to your body, the safer position that is when it comes to putting unnecessary stress on the shoulder, leading to shoulder irritation, shoulder injury, and shoulder pain. Now the third one is, when it comes to your workouts, try to focus on rowing movements compared to just pushing movements. So an example with a rowing movement, I'll get Alex to go through it. So like a straight bar row, so she's got a good stance, like shoulder width apart, weights even on the feet, bent through the knees, bent through the hips, straight head, shoulders, and hips, and then she's going through the movement. So when we're going through this rowing movement, we're also looking at those first 2 points we talked about. Tension in the mid-back, shoulder blades, and lats. Also trying to keep those elbows close to the body, because if she ends up having the elbows further away from the body, that ends up putting more stress on the shoulder and the rotator cuff. So looking at rowing movements, but also implementing those other 2 points that we talked about. Good. Now an example when it comes to the pushing movements that you want to decrease is just a standard push-up, and I'll get Alex to go through a push-up. So you're trying to do more of the rowing movements and less of the pushing movements. And even with this one, Alex is implementing those first 2 things that we talked about. Tension in that mid-back, shoulder blades, and lats, and then also working on trying to keep those elbows close to the body in order to decrease the stress on that shoulder joint. Perfect. And then the fourth point you want to remember when it comes to shoulder pain in your workout, we'll go both of them, and this relates to any kind of rowing movement. So I said, hey, you want to do more rowing movements, but don't make this mistake because it'll end up leading to more shoulder pain from your workout. So weights even on the feet. It might even be weight on the midfoot or a little bit on the heel. Feet are shoulder width apart. It's going to bend through the knees, bend through the hips, and then she's going to go through the rowing movement. And the key thing with this is this bottom position. So I don't want her to be relaxed and have the weight pull through the shoulder. I want her to suck in that shoulder, the ball of the shoulder joint into the socket, and that ends up being the end position. She rows, she goes to this point, she's kind of strong at that bottom position and going through that rowing movement. She's avoiding that traction or that pulling through that shoulder joint, because that will lead to more shoulder pain when working out and after you work out, and increases the risk of shoulder irritation, injury, and pain. So there you go, that's what you should do when it comes to shoulder pain when working out. Remember those 4 things. Now, if you end up having shoulder pain, what I recommend for you to do is click this link right here. What I have is a brand new report called 5 Tricks That Fight Shoulder Pain and Tightness. Just click right here, let me know where to send it, and I'll send it to you right away. Now, if you're watching this video on a mobile device or a tablet, head down below in the description area and click the first link, which will end up being exercisesforinjuries.com/shoulders. Let me know where to send that report, and I'll send you that report right away. Now, before you go, make sure you hit like if you got any benefit from this video. If you have any questions for me, head down below in the comments section and leave it there. And before you go, make sure to hit subscribe so you'll end up getting future pain relieving videos.